everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Ian Hink.
Hi.
Michael Damiani.
Hey, everyone.
And, as always, Brandon Jones.
Hello.
What?
I was reminded of something.
What?
I saw some comments last time that said people are sad that Kyle Bossman does not do, and Michael Damiani, like he used to do.
Do you want me to do it this one time?
This is up to you. But I did see some people say they were sad about it. And
Michael Damiani. Like that?
yeah, I like to see your facial expressions.
You know what I bet it is? Because you used to be on the end, right?
Yeah.
I was on the far end.
He was the last one, so that's why he got the special name.
Okay.
I don't really care about the special trainer. I just want to see Kyle say funny things.
I think you only read the comments that have your name in it.
No, I read all the comments.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So this week, we're not going to be playing the Beastie Boys rap.
That's because we're bad.
Bad.
That was good. It's not because we're bad. It's because
We're rad.
we had viewers and listeners who were cringing.
Yeah.
And that is the last thing I want, is for anyone to cringe. Like, if you're cringing, please tell me at any point. Cringing is a terrible experience, and I would hate for anyone to have to cringe.
I don't know if
Okay?
you're trolling the audience or Bloodworth right now.
Why? Did Bloodworth use the word cringe?
That sounds like something he would have told you about. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
The comments there are cringy.
He didn't, just for the record, he didn't do it.
I don't know. That wasn't a very good Bloodworth. I don't know what
I
that
liked it.
voice
It was
It's
like
like by Bloodworth.
Yeah. Did you know?
Sacre bleu.
So we got a game now. You know what? I didn't even want to do icebreakers anyway. I want to do a game. Here we go.
Great.
All right.
It's word of the day. Here's how this works. I'm going to give you a word, a vocabulary word from dictionary.com.
Oh, crap.
If you use this word at any point throughout the podcast, if you're the first to use it, you win a couple of werehogs.
Oh.
Okay.
Two whole.
Can I get a daily double?
How would the daily double work?
Beep, beep, beep.
If I use it in like twice in a sentence?
Baby steps first, Damiani. So, okay, so here's our word. Gormless.
Gormless. I've heard this word.
Lacking in vitality or intelligence.
Yeah.
Stupid, dull, or clumsy.
Gormless.
Gormless. That's a fun word.
Wow. So can you be gormful?
No, if you say gormful, I'm not giving you any werehogs.
Okay.
That's
No,
for
I'm just
sure.
wondering, you know.
Oh, okay.
So we could just
That
say
means
like
you're without gorm.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. And so I guess the way that'll work is if we decide that you're really stretching it, we won't give you any werehogs. In fact, we'll take them away.
So if we're just this is an example. I'm not trying
Yeah.
to make this win, but we're
Yeah.
just like, oh, Kyle, you're being so gormless.
we're taking your werehogs back.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Just for pretend though.
Just for
that
pretend.
wasn't a real one.
Right. You still
Yeah.
you got all your werehogs, man.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So
I start with so few, you know.
Jeez.
let's start corrections. Let's start our podcast. Corrections music, please. It's pronounced Verdun.
Whoa.
I totally said tenths and not hundredths, Damiani. Last week I referred to a website called easyallies.com. That does not exist.
It's easyallies.com/insync.
I was asked to clarify that most of EA's digital revenue comes from Ultimate Team purchases in FIFA and Madden. And correction music.
Wow, light week.
I think it was a light week because most of the comments wanted to talk about rapping.
They were all cringing.
Yeah. They were cringing too much. And
So really, it's kind of a strategy.
yeah. It was the majority of the comments for sure. So this week, like I said last week, we have 3 more podcasts now, including this one before E3. I wasn't too stoked on the news we were getting, so I'm like, you know what? It's time. Let's do E3 talk.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
What are you pumped about? What do you mean?
E3 talk, baby.
Well, Damiani, we're not going to talk about the E3 you
Welcome
want
to
to
this
talk about. I
edition
feel
of
like.
E3 Talk.
E3 talk.
Brought to you by Easy Allies.
So before we do get into press conferences, which is, obviously my favorite part of E3, a weird thing was announced this week called E3 Live.
Oh, yeah.
E3's
Oh, yeah.
first ever gathering for gamers.
Yes.
So Damiani, you said, "Oh yeah, what is this thing?"
So I read that news.
'Kay.
And so I read what it encompassed.
Okay, you know what, actually-
I'm not going to go into detail about that.
I need Brandon Jones to read what it encompasses.
Okay.
Oh, my.
I need you to read those bullet points,
All right.
Jones.
So before I start, we're gonna let Jones read this list.
They're so funny.
Yeah, because it's kind of amusing.
E3 Live, E3's first ever gathering for gamers, which is hilarious. Games, test drive, select gadgets, games, and gear. Live entertainment, enjoy live music, dance competitions, and demos. Interactive experiences, meet industry personalities, light up your social feed with one-of-a-kind photo ops. See VR demos and more. Exclusive merchandise, purchase games, exclusive gear, and collectibles. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, LA Live. Tickets are free. Sold out.
It's sold out.
Sold out.
Wait,
It's already sold out.
Yes.
they announced it and it was sold out?
Yeah, it's-
Like in a day.
It was first come, first serve.
Yeah.
It was like the Sony screenings for their press conference. You go for free, but you had to go at a site and get a ticket.
Right.
And their allotment is
That's like when they
fulfilled.
put up billboards for like Gwen Stefani or whatever, but then the billboard says sold out on it. I'm like, why are you doing this? Just
Good
to
question.
just to like
Status.
make the zeitgeist? Yeah, to just say
Yeah.
like Gwen Stefani's still super popular.
Also, I think you have to order those billboards pretty far ahead of time, so maybe it's that kind of thing.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I think they're getting better at
this is
those,
loud.
but
So I delayed your thoughts, Damian.
okay. So yes, I did. Yeah, you saw my reaction. I did
Yeah.
laugh at the notion of this. I do get what I think. I think I get what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
We're seeing more and more companies back out or suggest that they're going to have a reduced capacity or role at E3. I think a lot of my friends and I, and like a lot of people in the industry, have been kind of saying for a while, the two other biggest trade shows in the world, Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show, have a public part of their big industry event. E3 does not technically have that. They have some BS, pay a lot of money and you can go, but the average person can't do that. Like it's
It's
hundreds,
$600.
Yeah, it's hundreds to like $1,000 sometimes. This, I think, is their first kind of testing the waters at how bad's the crowd's going to be. Like, let's keep the crowd away from the actual convention center. Let's put it at LA Live like they said they're going to do. Let's see how this is. It's going to be, some people will probably have fun. It's not going to have, like, I don't think it's going to have, like, really huge things there. It's probably going to be some, like, you know, the B-list people and even C-tier stuff will probably be there.
Who is the B list of the video game industry?
I'm not going to say.
Us?
Yeah, we'll
We're
be
D
there.
tier.
Yeah,
No,
we're
B
like-
list. I wish.
We're like D,
Yeah, we're reaching for that B.
But like, they're not going to put like the Last Guardian demo there. Like, you're not going to be able to play the Last Guardian demo there.
I see what you're saying.
I don't think they have the Zelda demo out there. I really doubt that. But why I say it's test the waters because I really think to get E3 back to a place where all the publishers care about it and actually want to be there is they need to make the actual show floor public on either some solution to that, whether it's make E3 Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday are the press days, Thursday, Friday are the public days, or just make Tuesday, Wednesday press days and make one public day to start with and maybe expand it. They need to get the public there because then publishers they'll care more about showing their stuff there because like this is the premier North American event. Consumers are going to be here to see this game. Like, we need to, you know, show up and convince them to pre-order, do the whole, you know, the marketing cycle and stuff like that. And it will just, I think it will compound E3's popularity and relevance because right now publishers are saying, why are we appealing to the press in this way? Like, we're all fighting for attention when the only attention it's just too convoluted right now. They're all going their own separate ways. But if they had a place where they can get everyone, like consumers especially, like these are the people who screw the press. Like, these are the people who are buying our damn games. Like,
and tweeting about it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
this is like the king. It's like what Comic-Con became. Like, everyone goes to Comic-Con in some capacity because the public's there. So I think this would really help E3 in the long run. I just don't. This is not going to be the ultimate solution. This is going to get some funny reactions. It's going to get some discussion. And I bet next year they're going to be like, "Hey, we're adding a public day to E3."
Sure.
Was this before or after E3? Which day was it?
This is all
during.
throughout the week. Yeah,
Oh,
all during,
okay,
as
okay.
John said. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was funny because I was recently talking to someone who works PR for a game development company, like a big game development company, and she was just like, E3 is pointless. She was like, E3 is such a waste of time and money because exactly everything he was saying. But it was just like hearing it from someone who like is the PR person for a game company. I was like
saying E3 is pointless.
saying I'm really frustrated with E3. Like, we're going there just to show our stuff to people who don't care and who've already seen it. You know, like, it's very weird. Yeah, it's a very strange thing. It's just like it's the cost is so high. Really, it's just the press conference that you need. You know, because like paying $1 million for a booth just to show it to people who are getting a demo or, you know, aren't maybe the most passionate about You know, and I'm not saying that the journalists and people like in the media aren't super passionate about these things, but like it is kind of a funny thing to have like this giant, massive cost to just show it in industry.
Jones, do you see there being any negative impact of having like what Damiani proposed and what Ian kind of wants too? Is this
I'd say
thing
Friday public day?
Yeah,
for sure.
Could you see a negative impact to a public day?
No. I mean, I know you kind of want me to like turn the conversation in an interesting direction, but like
we all just nodded our heads at Damiani for the last 10 minutes.
Well,
It's like, he's right.
You brought up Comic-Con and like, you know, like I'm born and raised in Southern California, Los Angeles, like love the city, going to Dodger games since I was like, 3 years old. Like I love that town, but like that's not a fun town to really hang out in. Like Los Angeles is a destination town. Like you go to a place and then you leave, or you go from that place to a bar very specifically and then you leave that bar. Like you don't just go wandering through LA to see what happens. Like that is a bad idea.
But you do that in San Diego?
But you can totally do that in San Diego. My God, like you hit the streets, you hit the streets in San Diego when the convention closes. Like that's when it starts. Like and you can just go anywhere. Like if you just that smells good, eat there. I guarantee you it's incredible. Like you go in like I'll go into this like dress shop and just Spider-Man decals all over the place. Like that town is so exciting during that show. And like I don't know if LA could become that just because of the way LA's built, like it's more freeways and overpasses really than like a city, like you really have to go to an LA Live or a Dodger Stadium or downtown or like the Walt Disney Concert Hall, or you have to go like someplace specific to really have a good time. But if this is kind of a step in that direction to really kind of like start at LA Live and push out as far as creating like this is it, you don't need to go anywhere else, you're home, this is a fun little hub.
And kind of
then I'm down.
To piggyback on that briefly, like that's why Indiecade has that feeling because it's in downtown Culver City, which has that kind of vibe, like a cool little neighborhood
Culver
vibe.
City's awesome.
So you do feel like you're safe and you can tool around in there and do stuff. But yeah, like even Walt Disney Concert Hall or LA Live, it feels like an island. It's LA Live, and then there's just weird hotels and nasty-looking buildings and no cell reception. So if you're in trouble, you're just gonna die.
Just banks and
big, it's weird.
There's lots of big money down there. So
weird.
They're not. They have their little like cafe on the corner that closes at 7, and they're just not a lot.
Like if they did E3 at like Santa Monica, like 3rd Street Promenade or some weird. I mean, that's a bad place, but like, yeah.
Well,
maybe they can move it to the new stadium.
No, don't do that.
Where is that going to be?
Where they could, I forgot where it's going to be. The new stadium.
Yeah.
It's along the 405. It's like along the 405 down south.
It'll be an island. Probably
I was going to make a suggestion for a place. They don't go to San Diego, obviously, because they already have Comic-Con.
Right.
They should be looking to Anaheim because they've been expanding and renovating that place. They've been like updating that area around there. It's right by Disneyland. Has a ton of hotel space right there. They built up a bunch of. I'm just saying.
I'm down, baby.
I don't like this. Jones loves your idea too.
It's not too much. It's not terribly much further. Anaheim is like down the 5 a bit. And it's not too far from LAX technically.
And I mean, like with traffic, it might even take the same amount of time.
Like it's not the worst idea. Like if they're really looking to get like that public vibe, and no offense, like I don't think LA and LA Live is that. It's very self-contained. It's very small, as you said. They should look at Anaheim. At least look at it before like they think of like Vegas, because that name keeps getting tossed around a lot when they talk about
Vegas.
moving. I mean, Vegas is accommodating, but do we all really want to go? Like, we'd lose so much by it not being in like our backyard, essentially, which would suck.
Yeah.
Also, Vegas in June.
Oh no!
God.
Nope! Don't do
Vegas
that.
anytime, but Vegas in June. Oof.
But
Hey, if you live in Vegas, there's good things to like about Vegas.
We definitely have people in Vegas.
Write in and tell us what there is to like. Besides Cirque du Soleil shows, I love
those shows are good.
And La Rev is also really good, but whatever.
But I like Damiani said, to cap up E3 Live, I think it's the first
He
step.
said my name. I wanted to know where that was going.
Sorry, go ahead, Damiani.
Ian brought up reminded me of a good point about, he said like Santa Monica, which made me think about what they did to E3 before. Remember when they broke it down?
Talk about that.
No, don't talk about it. But what they did also as a part of it, the E for All, the public thing.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
The first one was actually popular. Do you remember they had Smash? They had Metal Gear there.
That's a better title.
And it was at the convention center. Like, it will work. Like, public will go play as long as you have the games there and you show up. The public will show up.
Oh yeah, man. I think regular people are more important now than ever, and that just becomes increasingly true every year.
Absolutely.
We are not important.
Yeah, it's bad for us, but I mean,
But I want to talk about press conferences, of course. We're talking about E3. It's time to start. And so basically there are 6 big press conferences. We're going to try to tackle 2 for each episode leading up into E3. So this week I want to talk about the first 2. And we're kicking off with EA this year. That's a first.
Here's my problem with EA. Like, for the last 2 years, their press conferences have been gormless. They've been devoid of any like. No, but like they're announcing games like 4 years in advance. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, they have a problem.
Well
with
done.
that.
All right, so you are awarded 2 werehugs. Yes. And you made a good point.
No, but it's
Salient point.
salient point.
Yeah.
But true for real though. Like, all their games are like. Remember when they like? I think I've said this before, but like. They went backwards on the development of Mirror's Edge. Like, they were like, the first announcement of Mirror's Edge was like, oh, all right. And then, like, the next thing we saw was like, it was like stills.
Yeah.
It was like in development or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And so
me.
I got a list of games that might appear at this press conference, and I kind of want to talk about each of them.
Sure.
Let's start off with, well, we talked about this recently. Jones, you're really pumped on this. What was that? Battlefield 1 is the one I want to start with, though. Are you still pumped?
I'm still pumped, but that's not the. No.
Okay. I guess we'll get to the one you're pumped on. Because we just talked about this at a great extent in a more recent episode. But I guess in the press conference with Battlefield 1, the trailer we saw was very campaign focused. And to me, that's not what the strength of Battlefield is. It's the multiplayer. Where do you think they'll focus more in a press conference?
Campaign.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why, Jones?
Well, they just had. I remember there was the one. Was it Battlefield 4 where the building came down? And they had like 50 people on stage. This giant, like all the risers. They like pulled the curtain back.
I think it was
all
Battlefield
those
4.
players.
Yeah.
That just didn't seem to go. They've never done anything like that since, and that was so amazing. That was such a great moment, like seeing all those players at the same time, and they never went back. And so I'm just like, I have to think that did not work for them.
Wow.
That's funny because that's what I assumed they would do. I thought they would do that again.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's such a new concept, and I think they want to prove that concept. I mean, it's got a pretty good reaction so far from the announcement.
They couldn't ask for a better reaction.
But I think they want to jam that home and really, like, okay, well, you've seen little snippets, but we really want to just, like, give you 10 minutes straight of just World War One. Just really, like, put you in the shoes there of a soldier.
Yeah, what's really interesting is, and I just realized that as we brought up this discussion, is we'll talk about Bethesda next, but Bethesda has a long time to like air each game out. EA doesn't.
Yeah.
I think they'll have to choose, do we commit to campaign, do we commit to multiplayer, do we show a little bit of each for this game? Damiani, where do you think they'll go?
I mean, I think they're going to show off the campaign mode.
You too?
I think they'll do a multiplayer trailer and a multiplayer event. I think they'll just invite people out to a specific event later, put out the multiplayer.
Oh, I mean,
trailer,
they're hosting an event.
Yeah, they're gonna do their whole. They do a push for that. I think that doesn't translate so well to the press conference stage. I feel like there's just too many unknowns they try and do it, and if it's like people can pick up if they were like just it was produced and stuff like that's not really how it's gonna be. Also, I think because of the Star Wars one that they did before, everyone thought it would look cool and stuff, and it was like the multiplayer, and everyone's like, oh, is this like when people get hands on it? I think they want to show that this campaign, like there's more to Battlefield 1 this time. That, hey, like look how much stuff we have in this game.
I don't understand the comparison to Star Wars. What did Star Wars do wrong last year?
Sorry, I'm talking am I getting confused with Star Wars Battlefront?
That's right.
Yeah, like you remember they showed off how they revealed it. It looked great. It looked really good.
That was great.
But I think the problem was like when people got hands on it, there was some like backlash a little bit to it. I felt like the people like this is it. That's kind of like why it tapered off so fast. I think they should show off as much of the campaign for Battlefield 1 this time because it seems like there's a lot of diversity to it, and they can like the plane stuff and going back. It's no longer like we're not doing sci-fi. We're not doing futuristic stuff. We're doing something that's set in the past, which was fun. Yeah, which was funny because that's what we like 10 years ago. We were all chastising shooters for please stop being set in World War I and World War II. Like, please go somewhere else. And the consumers kind of pushed them to going to either futuristic or modern stuff. And now we're like, hey, can you like go back now? We're gonna keep doing this like ride going back
like
and forth.
Everything, right? It's a cycle.
But I guess what I'm saying, like, I think they need to. They're good at showing off stuff that impresses. But I think with a campaign mode, they can show off more substance. I think the multiplayer is going to be what it is, and people know what to expect. More and more you're hearing from shooters is that hey, we love the multiplayer in these games, but there's not much else anymore. It used to be like people are like, I don't care about the single player mode. I just want the multiplayer in Call of Duty. Like, they don't need a single player.
But like you said, single player is so easy to sell. Here's a nice looking trailer.
Right.
But but it has the coolest moments, I think, in it that you can show off. Like, I want to see like the light plane fights and stuff, the biplane fights. Like, you show me in the trailer this like sequence. Like, I want to see like show me that mode. Like, show them like getting on the runway, getting fueled up and stuff. And it's like, all right, guys, like it's your mission to take down like the Red Baron or something. I'm totally getting this wrong, so no corrections on this because I'm making this up. We're historical fiction right now. Like, you're chasing down like the fictional Red Baron and stuff. Like,
the one that Snoopy has to shoot down.
Yeah, exactly.
he shot down like 20 of our he's like
Easter egg.
yeah, like
Lance Corporal Snoopy.
like you're all we have left, and he's got like go through like the canyons and stuff and like the mountains and like intense action. I'm like, I want to see that. Please show me this.
But think if it's like a really raw character story, like think if they really try to like imagine what it was like, like living in this era, living 100 years ago, fighting in this incredible war, like the scale of this, like being a young man like in this world, being in countries you've never been before, fighting people in a country and killing them and you've never been before, like all of this like huge emotional drama. And then, like, the next day, you have Call of Duty on stage being like, ladies and gentlemen, this is space flight in Call of Duty. Like, they're dead. They're dead. Like, and so I think it's EA. I think they really, if they're like, let's both play that single player game because we know we get you beat.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to try to, show off what, like, Battlefront did on the Xbox, like, so many years ago. It's like, it's just not going to wow people.
My only, like, because I definitely, for 100%, I think they're going to do that, like, show their single player. I think they'll show both, and I think that because they have an off-site, right? They're doing it all off-site, like their little event thing.
They're doing like regular people can go to their event,
right? So what I think they're gonna do is they're gonna open the servers, their local little LAN servers, at the same time, and then show actual people playing their actual multiplayer during their press conference,
which is I'm sure terrifying to them.
Oh, I'm sure it would be terrifying, but like think of how crazy that would be. It'd be pretty cool to do that.
Yeah, because I think that's what press conferences need, are crazy things. Ian, with Mass Effect Andromeda, what could they show that would be crazy?
Probably just me making your sweet character.
I
knew that was coming.
Just how gormless. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't get extra points.
I know. How
Daily double.
No, I'm not trying to make her look like cool. But no. I mean, for real, like for real with Andromeda, they just need to show it at all, like anything like of substance, because the last stuff we've seen has been, unless I'm forgetting something that they showed, like it's been mostly just, oh, here's some environment, like some dolly, some cranes down onto
and
wrecks.
one just had like a Krogan,
just some Krogan, like standing there, and I'm just like, all right, guys, like, why are you showing us this game yet?
Last year we had a CG trailer that's like, hey, this game will have a jetpack.
Right.
That was
it's like
last year.
It's like, oh, I'm a gruff spaceman, and here's a planet I'm looking at. We had to move to a new solar system. Blah.
But like, when you say just show it, like, what do you want to see?
I want to see. I mean, basically, they need to wow us with the graphics and the gameplay. And just show us, like, it's tough with that game because what they're gonna show is it's gonna start with a little dialogue scene, then you're gonna land in a ship, and then you're gonna run through a gray and brown planet while things are exploding above you and things are landing in the distance, in the skybox, and you're fighting a new alien race that we haven't seen before, and that's all gonna be amazing and look really cool. And then in the middle of the battlefield, you and your other alien race companion are gonna get into a talk. Right? And then they're going to reveal some crazy new mechanic that everyone in the audience is going to start going like, whoa, and I'm not going to understand. Mm-hmm. And then some big, huge set piece thing will happen, I think. And if they do that, like if it's that kind of a thing, and if they show vehicle driving that doesn't suck.
That'd be cool. I'm going for that.
They've got to show some new. They've got to show what makes this game different, though. Too.
Jones, what is that thing? What gets everybody screaming in terms of Mass Effect Andromeda?
I need to have had more experience with the Mass Effect series.
What is this about? What do you mean by that?
You know this.
No, I don't know this.
I played Mass Effect 1 for about 2 hours, and then that's it. That is
I did not know you had this
That is
goal,
my
James.
that is my legacy.
Yeah, I feel like you would love Mass Effect.
Yeah,
I
dude.
feel I would
would.
too.
You
It
would
just
love
never.
them.
It's that is
1
that
and
has
2
been-
are like pretty great.
God, that and Pokemon are my two. Maybe.
Oh, Jones, you're
Brandon
writing the
plays Mass
show right
Effect.
now, man.
Wait for the HD remasters.
Yeah.
I need as many different aliens, environments, outfits, guns, and like just kitchen sink that game at me big time. Like
Okay, that's interesting.
yeah, I want, 'cause like Fallout kind of does that, like Bethesda with which just kind of show you like this city, this guy, this character, this enemy. You're like trying to piece it all together, like like the little hints in the background and little like details and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I need to be overwhelmed with Andromeda. Like
I just-
because I think anytime, just as opposed to doing any kind of story play, because then me that was like one of the big turnoffs for the continuation of the Halo universe. When it was like, no, Halo 4 is happening, and I was like, okay, well, what happens? And it's like, hey, he wakes up, and there's stuff there, and I'm like, that's it. He
the
wakes
chief
up,
is back.
he just floats somewhere bad. Oh, come on, it's like. And like again, I have not played Halo 4 and 5, so like I can't speak ill of the story yet that I haven't experienced. But like, there's so many mixed memories about how that series ended off, how that trilogy ended, that I think you want to play up less. Here's the person we want you to be now, and here's kind of their tie to the it's like new places. We are going full speed into a whole new part of the universe.
New aliens.
We're gonna show you a ton of crap now that, like you're saying, what am I looking at? What? How did that work? Huh? Just one question mark after the other. Logo, we're out.
To jump in here, I thought of something. I know I already talked about this, but I think the two things for me, what would wow me, a better and more impactful romance system where once you got into a relationship with someone, it actually felt like you were in a relationship with them. It's not just you get to have sex once before
You
the
get one
final
stupid
mission.
cutscene, yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying like I want there to be like a bunch of nudity or whatever in this game. I just want it to feel like an actual romantic connection there. I think that could be stronger. But also I think space combat and customizable ship. Like if you can customize your own headquarters ship, like, and make it like your own way, and maybe even have to make choices about like what gets on your ship, and then that affects the story. Or like if you can choose different, like if you have to make tough choices about who goes on your ship, and then that like Suicodens your castle, like it changes what's on your ship. That would be bananas.
Yeah.
And like you can like lay them out, and that'd be so cool. Because like those ships always felt like a home, but I felt like I didn't have any impact on them at all. So like if the ship really felt like mine,
I hear
that
you.
would be amazing.
Even when you go in your own like little cabin, it's just like
It's
I don't
just
know,
like,
someone
you can
decorated
get-
this for me.
Well, and
Yeah.
or you found the 5 little model ships, great,
Yeah.
and you forgot to feed your fish, so they're dead now. But like, if you really feel like you have ownership on that ship, I mean, I hope it ties in with this. I mean, I could go for a while on this, but like, I hope it ties into the story somehow, where like, you get into a situation where you have to like, you're on your own, and you have to like start from scratch and build this ship up or something. I don't know. It could be really cool, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I find appealing.
But it's
Donnie-
interesting that it's right next to Bethesda, because it's like, God, how great would it be to have spent 20 minutes with Mass Effect?
Yeah.
Have them come out and be like, hey, guess what? We're talking about Mass Effect for 15 minutes.
Jones, I'm
That'd be
100%
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're like,
Yeah.
we do have this interesting system, and we're not just going to say it in a sentence. Let's show you how it works.
Mass Effect
and
could totally go as flawed
okay,
as
now
Fallout
I'm going to
did.
bring out the producer in charge of dialogue. Bill, go tell me
Yeah.
how that works, and just like, oh, hey, here's why I watch this scene, like. And just like, oh, guess what? We're not talking about FIFA at all. Sorry, guys. We're going to skip
Oh my
FIFA
God.
in our press conference.
They win
To
if
talk
they
about this
don't
other
do
thing.
a sports. Like,
Could you imagine?
That's not gonna
if they,
happen.
they won't
imagine
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
But if they don't do the half hour of sports, where literally all of us just go, ugh.
But it's like, I know, but that's the thing. Is like, I know the sports franchises are big, but are the sports franchises big because of E3? Like,
No.
is E3 the time where like,
No.
oh,
They're gonna
finally.
make the money
Oh,
either way.
All my
Like,
E3,
don't
all my
waste
FIFA
time.
news at last.
Was
Yeah.
Pele last year?
Oh god.
I think so.
It feels like so long ago.
E3 last year feels like a century.
It really does.
Yeah.
Wow, we're in a different spot, huh?
Wow.
Titanfall 2, Damiani. How does Titanfall 2 make an impact? How does it make a splash? Do you think I think one of the reasons Titanfall 1 left a splash at E3 the year it was shown is because it had a big stupid mech in the middle of the
And wall running.
Do you remember that thing?
Yeah.
It had like a life-sized
Oh yeah.
robot.
Oh, for that on the actual show floor.
Yeah.
You mean? Yeah. I think it was also partially because it was like, what are the former Infinity guys Ward up to? You know, Ward got people up to. Like,
you're right. I'm being unkind. There's prestige there, for sure.
There's prestige. There's mystery. Like, okay, this is the resolution to this like escalating conflict between Activision and old Infinity Ward and the new guys over at Team EA. It's like, oh man, they're going for a collision course here, and then, oh look, like it's got more platforming / parkour stuff, and oh, there's mechs in this. Oh, this is cool. I think they need to up the mech factor in the next one. Like
Up
mech,
the
put
mech
that on a
factor.
t-shirt. Mech based combat. I think there needs to be a few more modes that are like a little bit more specific to just focusing on mech. Like no getting out of the, like, you know, you really can't be out of your mech for that long. Like it's like super deadly and dangerous.
Yeah, because the air is acid.
This is weird. What you're talking about so far, I would hate that. I hate air as acid.
Well, I mean, like
but
in a
also-
hospital environment.
With Battlefield 1, we said push the campaign. Right now, Damiani, you're saying push multiplayer.
Well, I mean, that's what Titanfall was. I mean,
you think, yeah?
they would be nice to have a campaign.
It will. They've promised that Titanfall 2 will have a
I mean,
campaign.
it'll be nice
really?
for it to be good.
Yeah.
I guess the issue is, like, everyone's kind of doing this backlash to the new Call of Duty, like going futuristic, going space, and they're like, ha, 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 good job, guys. Like, I think Titanfall needs to stick to what it, like, did well, but also look at what people complained about, which one was there was no campaign for it. But I think they need to just have, like, more variety of mechs and just do something crazy with the mech combat. Like make one like a melee, like, you know, wielding a sword or something, and it's like fast paced. Like, you know,
You got a sword in the trailer, dude. It's coming.
go like platinum style. Like just like it's one mech has sword based combat. It's like, wait, what the heck? Like it's so ridiculous, but like you'd want that. Like, okay, this is cool. Like we never thought like the guys at EA and the guys behind Titanfall would ever do something like this. You know, this is something you see in a Japanese game. Like, it might be time like to maybe borrow, like, because it's mech based, like it might be time to borrow a little bit of, you know, that, you know, kind of ambitious, like over the top style for
Makes
some
me
of the
nervous, though.
but just for the mech combat. But like for the
You're gonna end up with like Pacific Rim. If you like try to copy too much, you just end up with something that looks
I'm not
stupid.
talking about like, I mean, not necessarily designs, but I'm talking about like the combat system. Just do something that's a little bit even more fast paced and make them more mobile. And because when I played it, they felt okay, but like they still felt a little bit clunky and stuff. Like that's how mechs are. But this is fantasy. Like make it ridiculous. You can do whatever the heck you
You know
want.
what'd be cool is if you put some mecha in there.
Oh yeah.
Exosuits, where it's like the sword person could be like, she's got like, she's a mecha, like bubblegum, whatever it's called.
Bubblegum Crisis?
Bubblegum Crisis. They're mechas instead of mechs.
What is the difference?
A mecha is like a suit, like a little body suit, like an
Exoskeleton.
exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Iron Man, yeah. Iron Man is a mecha. I believe that's the distinction.
Here's what's crazy is, you know, I was making fun of Titanfall a little bit for making the big suit, you know what I mean? And putting that was Game of the Year at E3. That was E3 Game of the Year.
According
when it
to
came out. Frequently. It was like the press vote, whatever
It
thing.
was a different time, you know.
Is it? Yeah, it is. And that's what I feel, Ian. It's like it's a different time. It's hard for me to see Titanfall 2 being Game of the Year at E3, Game of the show.
Oh, it won't be.
Yeah, no. I guess, yeah, thinking about it more, I'm just kind of worried what they could do with a campaign at this point that's going to wow people, unless this is crazy. Because
Honestly, Dominic, I think that's where they're going. I think they're going nuts. I think they're
It'll just
going
be-
fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah, it'll be too
Yeah.
standard flair. Like there's too much stuff that's done modern advanced warfare.
Yeah.
That it's like, really? This again, like it's dull. We've seen this. They have to do something insane.
I'm actually
And it's run with it.
very excited
Go
for that
for it.
campaign. I think it is going to be what you want it to be,
All right.
Damiani.
Well, I'd be
Really?
excited too.
This is going backwards,
Sure.
but I hope Battlefield 1's campaign is like super gritty.
Yeah.
Like I hope it's like realistically violent and gory, and then like you get syphilis in a whorehouse, and the second half of the game you're just like going insane because your brain is rotting, and then you get gassed and die, and it was all for nothing.
Wow. I mean, yeah, they could do that.
In the trenches.
Oh, it'd be so good. Anyway, sorry.
Jones, let's talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, what? You want to talk about
No,
Titanfall 2?
which is why that trailer bugs me, because the first launch trailer for Battlefield 1's very like, yeah, war, it's awesome. Yeah. And it's
Seven
like,
Nation
Yeah.
Army.
Yeah, and
I
no,
know.
it's not. War is god awful. This war was terrible. No, it's no.
Yeah, it's like
This
here's some
war-
mustard gas. Sweet.
I believe in them. I believe in that team too to be responsible about it.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You want to talk about what?
Star Wars.
I've heard of that.
EA's got a huge Star Wars license. They don't have any Star Wars games coming out this year. They have their
Right.
MMO, and they have more DLC coming to Battlefront. What do you expect them to show?
expect? Oh man, I got hopes. I don't know about expectations.
Let's hear your hopes then. I'm more interested in hopes.
We gotta find out about this Star Wars game, man. This Star Wars game that we know is based on nothing.
Viscerals.
We have
Amy
idea.
Hennig?
Viscerals, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy. Like, we have no idea what genre it is. We have no idea.
I think we do. I think it's third-person adventure.
Third-person adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I always assumed it would basically be Star Wars Uncharted, but maybe
Right.
that's not giving them enough credit.
But I mean, that's what 1313 was. So it's like, is it just gonna be like that again? It's like, how do you announce something like that knowing that you already announced something cool next gen?
So this will be
arguably
fun,
one of
Jones.
the first next gen games we ever saw.
With
It was
an
then
amazing
canceled.
trailer. Yeah.
So then now,
But
they're
here's what
throwing
we're-
something else at us.
Jones, we know it's not coming out in 2017. It's likely coming out in 2018. So let's talk about how to not show too much. What is appropriate to show for a game that's 2 years out?
Nothing.
I think a casting reveal would be big. The Norman Reedus, Silent Hill move. You know,
I hope
just
it's
like
not Norman Reedus though.
Well, yeah, no,
Just real quick.
Yeah, and
I like Norman Reedus.
Star Wars would not work for that
Yeah.
actor.
Yeah, exactly.
But just something like, you know, some line where you see some kind of photorealistic thing. One of those things where you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And you're like, oh shit, this is gameplay. Oh my god, that looks amazing. And like some kind of cool reveal. The Rogue One teaser, the very first Rogue One teaser was great. It had Obi-Wan's dialogue, and that was before the war, before the Empire. And you saw like the Death Star in the background. Like, oh my god, I think it was Comic-Con 2 years ago. So it was just like, you saw a couple TIE fighters, it's a brand new shot. So it was like, they're not repurposing old footage. This is something they created just for this teaser. You know, like a little bit of old dialogue kind of ties that in. And then this big grand reveal shot of like, oh my God, there's the Death Star. They're building it. You know, so like, that's what the movie's going to be about. So just, yeah, some reveal of that character. And then that actor like turns around and it's like, oh, they
And then cut to
oh my
black,
God, it's Lando.
please.
Oh, or something, you know, like just some cool thing, some cool twist.
And then can we please cut to black? You're already showing me too much, I feel like.
yeah, no, it's a one long shot. And,
All right.
and it ends with a character reveal that we're familiar with, or an actor that we're like, oh, they're in Star Wars now. That's cool.
Have they said if this is tying into the new established
was
canon?
gonna ask,
Like,
yeah.
I'm curious. Like, do you know? Have they
Yeah.
said anything?
Oh, yeah. Everything-
Is it part of the new
Oh, yeah.
universe?
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean, do we know where in the like
No,
series
that
we
it
don't know.
lands?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's gonna be so cool. But yeah,
I'm hoping for some Force Awakens stuff. I'm hoping it is between 7 and 8, or before 7, or so, like just some new crazy offshoot. Because the movies seem to be doing the opposite. Like Rogue One's like in the past of, you know, compared to where we are now.
Yeah.
The Han Solo movie is certainly gonna be like
Well,
way in the past.
we might be able to actually predict that because Rogue One is 2016,
Right.
And then Episode 8 is 2017, and then it'll be some off
Han Solo.
trilogy.
Han
The Han
Solo.
Solo movie will be 2018, so it's going to come out around then. So if it's a I mean, that would actually fit if it is
we're
in the
playing as a
pedigree
Han
of
Solo
Uncharted.
game?
Yeah.
If it's a Han Solo game, that would actually be pretty crazy. And if they got Harrison to do it, like, I don't know, like I could see that actually timing out correctly.
and if it's Harrison's
like,
gone, it's
no, yeah,
it's
but it'd be the young one. Yeah,
buck.
it'd be the young one from the movie.
Oh, if they did like a young Indiana Jones, where it was both, you know, it was just like him
Oh,
narrating.
yeah.
He's like, oh, I remember when I was down on that planet.
Does he narrate for that? That's funny.
but
Well,
like,
he showed up in a couple of young Indiana Jones episodes. It's like
okay.
old
Harrison
Indy.
Ford did.
Yeah.
Wow.
was old Indy.
Here's the thing, though. Like, will it be enough if it is just a third-person action game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it need to be? I'm just saying, like, does it need to be not necessarily like Destiny, but does it need to have other kinds of stuff in it? Like, do we want it to be like, okay, it's set before the original trilogy, but it's like got social or something, like you can play it with your friends. You're all like whoever fighting whatever. I mean, like, do we want that, or what do we want? Do
Star
we
Wars
want it to
Destiny
be,
is a good idea, but man, dude.
or do we want it to be Han Solo
All right,
Uncharted?
hold on. Damiani hates Star Wars Destiny. Why?
I mean, I would like them to just try and do a very narrative-driven Star Wars game again.
Jones agrees with
That's
you.
what it is. I mean, they're,
I mean,
that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I want,
That
them to
makes
take, I want them to take me through these worlds of Star Wars. I want it to be a little bit more linear because I want them to be more focused. I want to see these beautiful environments rendered in a game, but like it's not open world, so like it loses a little bit. Like here's a landmark here, but the rest of it is this wide open space that is themed after Hoth or something. But
Right.
here's the reactor and here's the rebel base. Like, okay, I want to like walk through those places. I want to like explore these in depth. I want to walk through the Death Star corridors or whatever they're going to present to me. I want to spend my time and kind of revel in that. And I do want a story because like I like Star Wars for the story and the characters the most, and then like the sci-fi action. So they need to have very strong characters, and it needs to be very plot driven. That's what I'm personally expecting out of this game. I think I might be a little bit disappointed if they do anything other than that.
My dream as a nerd and further as a Star Wars nerd, like one of the biggest things that bummed me out when they retconned everything when like Disney took over and they were just like, yeah, all that expanded universe, you're gone. It's like, oh, I lost Dash Rendar, I lost like all these really cool Mara, what's her name? What's the redhead's name?
Mara
Who's in
Jade?
Mara Jade, yeah, who's in Jedi Knight, who's in the Dark Forces series. I'm just like, oh, it sucks that they're not going to show up. You know, I'd love for them to be little cameos or something. I would love it if this was completely crazy new characters, you know, like Rebels. You know, it's just his own crazy new thing.
You want a new Kyle Katarn?
Maybe they get some C-3PO cameo or something is thrown in, or like somebody mentions something, kind of like how Daredevil is like kind of in the Marvel movie universe, but not. They reference it, but like nobody really shows up.
Yeah.
And then Episode 8 comes out, and just one guy in one scene in the background just slips a little line in. And I'm like, yes, that's from the game that I played. That's awesome. You know, like they're like all these old dads out there that are just like, oh, I like Star Wars. They didn't get that at all. They like
give the
that
old dads a break,
that was
man.
there, but they didn't play the game. You know what I mean? Like they like
Okay.
like that's for my middle generation. You
Sure.
know, like that was not for the kids. It's not for
Kids didn't play that game either.
Yeah.
I want to
and
go.
mature and a nice like mature story. Star Wars universe.
I want it to be, either a hard teen or M.
I can't. Oh
I
man.
doubt it. Well,
And
they don't
that'd be
swear
cool.
in Star Wars ever, really. So it'll be teen.
Yeah, teen's fine.
Sure. Yeah.
So the rest of the games we got to go through pretty quickly, but basically it's about, do you think this will appear? So we can do like
Okay.
yes,
Lightning
quickly or no
round.
quickly.
Sure.
Yeah. Criterion's weird action sports game. Do you remember this trailer?
Yeah.
No.
So the people who made the Burnout open world game,
I don't know that.
yeah, they showed a trailer. I think it was 2 E3s ago that showed like, oh, you can hang glide in this one. You can-
ATVs and
you know,
yeah, lots of
ATVs.
jumps.
Oh, right. Where
Yeah.
you jumped onto the. Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually looked kind of cool.
I think we'll see that again this year.
It wasn't sports, though, was it? Or was it like an adventure game?
I call those action sports.
Extreme sports. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
extreme
all right.
sports. Sure, you're right.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm sure they'll show it if it still exists.
I think that's the Need for Speed of this year, because I said Need for Speed is gonna be next year, so maybe that'll be here this year.
Sure. If they're gonna show it off, it'll be this year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's Zine said it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. It either doesn't exist or it'll.
Anything from PopCap? Anything Plants vs Zombies? You know?
No, not gonna have a new one. They might have like
Maybe
new
an
DLC
expansion,
announcements
yeah.
or something, but
Okay.
No.
Anything from BioWare? Remember, BioWare's got a lot of studios.
Besides Andromeda?
Yeah.
Jade Empire 2.
Okay, so that means no. Then we're just willing to put anything. I
I
honestly
mean,
think,
unless they do a Star Wars expansion or something for the
no.
MMO or whatever.
I think BioWare will have something. I'm willing to bet on that one. I think they'll have.
I mean, they're going to do a huge Andromeda thing, so.
Yeah, maybe they're. Yeah. And then last year when Unravel debuted, it was at that press conference, and they said we're trying to do more games like this. We have more games like this in the pipeline. We didn't see those this year. Do you think we'll see another
Sure.
indie game?
Two.
Yeah.
I think they'll have at least, even if it's not an indie game, they'll have at least one surprise title that you don't expect.
Yeah.
I think they looked at what Ubisoft's done the last few years, these surprise reveals.
Yeah.
I think they're like, hey, we should do something like that too. We'll be cool too. I
Side
want to be
bet.
surprised of seeing something we didn't expect to be there.
Side bet,
Okay.
it gets leaked 3 days or more before the conference.
What does?
Some surprise
the
EA
surprise
thing that
stealth
we've
EA
never
game.
heard of leaked before the
By
conference.
Kotaku.
Ouch. By Kotaku in particular.
Specifically.
Side bet.
That one's too hard. That's too hard of a side bet. I mean, Unravel didn't leak. You know what I mean? Because it was the scale of that announcement.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was a really nice moment, even like pacing wise. If we're talking about like pacing of directing a press conference, perfect spot for it. I really love that.
I
I'd love
think
to see
this
them do that
E3.
again.
I think I also different side bet maybe. I'm betting that there's a meta, like a fake leak, like a troll leak before E3 this year.
Whoa.
Like someone like it's like an anti-leak where it's like they leak like a fake version of something or like a crappy sounding version of something to like reverse your expectations and do the real thing.
Like the
has
NX
happened.
controller.
Or the Nintendo On.
Yes. Yeah. Though the Nintendo On turned out to be better than the Wii. Like we all wanted that Nintendo On.
depressing.
Oh,
I don't remember that.
do you hear that?
Oh,
It's podcast halftime.
Easy Allies podcast halftime. The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of May: Michael Kozachenko, Michael Favacci, Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information.
YoYoTricks.com, a tutorial website for teaching people how to yo-yo. To buy yo-yos and learn how to get started, visit YoYoTricks.com or their YouTube channel. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
Huber still doesn't know how to yo-yo.
We gotta teach him, man.
I'll teach you.
Walk
gotta help
the
him.
dog
I've heard of a good website to teach you that.
around the world.
I'm afraid to watch Hubert yo-yo. I feel like he's gonna be too aggressive.
He's gonna
gotta
snap
bet.
the yo-yo off.
I don't see him having the finesse.
It's just a string now.
Later that day, 7 p.m. Pacific time, Bethesda is doing another press conference on a Sunday.
What's it gonna be?
What's it gonna be? What do you mean, what's it gonna be?
I don't know.
Well, I know one word.
You tell me.
One game will be there.
What one game will
Starts
be there?
with a D,
What is that?
and another word in it has a 2 in it.
Another word in the title has a 2 in it.
Doom 2?
Starts with a D.
in the number 2.
Starts with a D,
Oh,
ends with a 2.
Dishonored.
Damiani, is Dishonored 2 a big deal?
They're probably gonna treat it like it.
Is it a Fallout 4? Like, does it deserve to be
I
treated
don't.
like
I
that?
don't think it's at that level yet, but I think it's has enough interest that people want to see what they do with the sequel. I think it's got this one more game to try and build upon it and make it into
Become
something
a
more.
franchise.
Otherwise, this will probably be like the end of it if it like doesn't do well.
My biggest
But
appeal for that game, the outfits.
The outfits.
That main girl looks dope.
Ian, I have no idea what she's wearing. What is the outfit that she's wearing?
Well, I'm trying to remember. Now I'm kind of. I started thinking about. Well, I just remembered loving it, but like I think it's like Victorian like petticoat kind of.
I think
like,
she's got a fierce lapel. I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah, it's like an overcoat.
She's got like the M.
buttons.
Bison collar.
Okay.
Yeah, and like blue, dark blue or something, purple, and it was like longish. She may have had a skirt on her pants. I don't recall.
I think she had pants and she's got like a little coat. I think she's
Coat
like a long
tails, yeah,
purple coat.
coat
She's
yeah.
got the,
So, Jones, you have a
That's like
memory of this
cool- that's
trailer,
a cool
too.
look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It looks badass.
Are you into... So, is everyone here into Dishonored 2?
Is that like a thing? Wait, am I not allowed to? Is this like in the contract for Easy Allies?
It's just such a foreign concept to me.
Like Dishonored. I really enjoyed Dishonored. The story actually was the one thing in Dishonored that I could take or leave. Like I didn't.
What'd you like, then?
It was just a fun game to play. Like the environments were fun. It was fun. I don't think I'd played, and I've played stealth games since that have had it, but like I don't think I'd ever played a game where I'm just like, oh, there's a guy over there, he's dead. Not because I like sniped him in the head, not because I like planted a trap or something that he walked on, but because I traveled to right where he was, stabbed him in the neck, and then flew across the environment to some other place. And that was just so gratifying. That just never, even especially like jumping off of something and like now I'm in the middle of a fall and I can just teleport over there and not be falling anymore.
Jones, I like that. I mean, that's the nicest thing you could say about a video game.
So
It
I
was
don't.
fun.
Yeah. So my
It's fun,
expectations
yeah.
are pretty mellow for the sequel because it's like I don't approach that as like, well, they have better fixed everything they messed up, or
Oh, I can't wait to see what happens to Corvo.
I sure hope that game's a huge success. It's kind of
Yeah.
like it kind of reminds me in a little bit of way of Darksiders, where it's like I could see somebody being a huge Darksiders 1 fan, but not expecting Darksiders 2 to like knock me over, but I'm gonna play the hell out of it because I just loved that first game. And like I just imagine the team that made that first game, the time that they've had to work on the second one, how much fun that first game was, and maybe some ideas that they have had like portals and crazy stuff that like they can maybe add now.
Yeah, that
Looks like she's like summoning crazy squid things to fight with her, like shadow monsters or something.
To me, that's the narrative I expected. I think I actually remembered someone saying this when Dishonored came, like someone at GT saying, like, it's almost there. Like, I almost love this game. Like, if they only fixed, like, these few things, this would be an amazing game.
Probably Justin Spear.
It was either Justin Spear or Elise. But, like...
Okay. It sounds like an Elise thing to say.
But no, but, like, they were saying, like, I really like this game, but I want to love it. And it's almost there. And so my expectation is, like, they're going to say, like, hey, yeah, we listened and we fixed these things, like Brandon was saying.
I think it'd be fun to roll out at... Were there any Bethesda games last year at other press conferences? Did they like
Yes,
sneak
they
in a trailer here or
Fallout
there?
They showed more Fallout 4.
Was it
Yeah,
Xbox?
so like it might be
Yeah.
fun
Xbox,
for them to come out and be like, hey, here we are, it's world premiere of the first level of Dishonored. We're gonna be going at this port town or something. They're having like a big fish auction or something. We're gonna try to sneak aboard this ship. We're gonna take this guy out. Chuck here is gonna take us through. Take it away, Chuck. And then Chuck does it, and tons of action. He's lots of projectiles and summoning crazy stuff, and then he does a big fight at the end. And then like Xbox 2 days later, or Sony or something, they come on. They're like, hey, we're going to demo that same thing a totally different way. Take it away. And then it's
Oh.
basically like whole different thing.
That's
now
a
the guy's
cool
doing... Because
idea.
like,
Yeah.
did you see the crazy Dishonored... If anyone hasn't seen this, let's watch this podcast. The trick videos the guy made with Dishonored. Where he would
No.
like throw a knife up in the air and then like go and like push someone, and the guy would get pushed back 2 feet, and the knife would hit him like right in that
cool.
spot. I mean, just
Hey,
like
man.
clearly this guy has played this level 500,000 times.
Yeah.
So just show me that, like, not so much like, oh, this is a technical powerhouse, because that's not really, I think, what people liked in Dishonored. Like, that was not visually, it was, you know, got some fun Bioshock vibes, but like
That's cool. That's what you want to see
just
demonstrated.
the finesse, like. You know, like, that's what I got last year from Just Cause 3. Like, when I would see people, devs playing it, I'm like, you're playing a musical instrument right now. This is crazy.
So if they came at you with just a strictly story trailer, you're disappointed.
It would have to be a really good story, especially considering, well, the first one, it was like, you could be good or bad. So it's like, well, where are we continuing from?
Here's one that I think will launch with a story trailer.
Wait.
What?
Before you change it,
Okay.
that just gave me a really cool idea that I had a question for you guys if anyone's ever done it.
What?
Has anyone ever done like where they start a story, like they have a narrative that goes through several different press conferences?
Assassin's Creed did a kind of similar thing. one
Kinda,
year.
yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Okay.
Where they-
Because I was thinking like if you did,
Yeah.
I mean like if you did it on like a PT scale or something where it's like you like do like one preview. Oh, this would be so cool. Like so like Bethesda they just show a trailer and no one talks about it, and then it's just really weird and confusing, and everyone's like, what the hell was that? And then like at the Sony event, you see like a thing starts like basically where that ended off, and it gives you a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, that would be so cool.
The Fallout appearing again in the Xbox conference sucked.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the same stuff we saw before.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It was.
That was
Yeah.
you got to bring new stuff for sure.
Well, which is why what you're describing, Ian, never happens, because that's so impossible to coordinate all this.
Right.
It's like herding cats,
Yeah.
you know, between
Right.
all this.
Well, I think if
people.
they were just like
I'm going to come in and
trailers.
hijack your show. It's
If
like,
they
no,
were
you're
just
not.
if they were just like 2-minute trailers,
Yeah.
and they were just really nebulous, and then it was like, you know, just you drop a demo, like a PT sort of thing. Like if you somehow work it into like 3 different press conferences, and if you like put the clues together, it leads to like an ARG website or something.
it's never gonna be 3. I don't know.
No, yeah,
I
it'd
don't
be
know how to
really
do that
weird how to
partnership.
do it. I mean, it would have to be like EA or Bethesda paying both.
Nintendo
Sony
will put it in their direct.
I think we're gonna see a story trailer for a new Wolfenstein game at E3.
Oh, probably.
That's my guess. That's sorry everyone. That's not confirmed. That's not even heavily rumored. It's slightly rumored.
I mean,
But
it
yeah.
would make sense if they alternate Doom and Wolfenstein now.
Yeah, and I mean, like that Wolfenstein game was very successful. The team is still working on a game. It's probably a Wolfenstein sequel. What do you need to see from that trailer? How does Wolfenstein? Because they rebooted basically. They're like, hey, we're doing basically what Doom just did. It's like, hey, we're doing it again. We're back to our roots. Here's Wolfenstein. So now, how do you elaborate on that now? How do you keep that torch running?
I think you can pick up right where, not Old Blood, because that was the sequel. What was it? New Order. I think just pick
Yeah.
up right where New Order left off.
Where does it leave off?
Spoilers.
Without spoilers. Well, like what kind of tone? Where's
Well, it's
BJ
like the
Blazkowicz?
whole plot of New Order was that like we lost, you know,
Yeah.
and the Germans took over, and so I think we kind of like won a battle. We basically like who you were fighting at the beginning of New Order. You get back in there and slap them around and you beat them, but like you don't beat the Nazis. Like you don't like reform
Okay,
the world.
yeah.
You know,
Great.
it's kind of like how there could have been a sequel to the first Homefront. Like we have a second
Right.
Homefront now, even though it's like the same conflict. Kind of, it's just like now we're in it deeper. Kind of like Mankind Divided, same thing. You know, it's like same world, same general issues. It's just now it's so much worse, or now are all of the problems that the hero has to solve are so much more compacted by all of these new things that have come up.
It wasn't a reboot, was it? Because it actually has the same continuity as the first Wolfenstein
And there are
games.
several characters that survived
Yeah.
New Order, so like it'd be
Cool.
really cool to see what they're up to now, and kind of like you kind of left them really quickly at the end of New Order. And so it's just kind of like, did they stop fighting? Did they go off and create a new thing?
So yeah, I think that could be a big deal
It's had to see, yeah.
at a Bethesda press conference. I don't think we've found our Fallout 4 yet still. Let me keep reading what might be there.
Real quick, I just thought, I know I keep doing this, I'm sorry. I just thought about how weird it is that XCOM 2 basically did the Wolfenstein thing, but with the second game in the series, where it's just like, nah, you lost the first game canon.
Right.
Like, it's just like, nah, you didn't do it. Even though you did it, you didn't do it.
And don't get me started on the Zelda timeline.
Very interesting, yeah.
The Elder Scrolls Legends, the card game. Is that going to be Fallout 4 this year? Do you think we'll get to see like 15
There will
minutes
be
of that?
a Fallout
try.
for this game.
Nice try.
Battle Cry?
No.
Battle Cry is apparently still in development. They're just keep
Wow.
reworking it.
That's the
update.
World War I Melee game where guns don't exist.
Alt universe, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the outfits look cool and the swords look cool.
Okay, how about this? An announcement from Tango Gameworks. of The Evil Within. Ooh. What are they working on right now?
I'll buy it.
I knew that
Evil Within
game.
2?
What if it's not Evil Within 2, man? What if it's just like Mikami's just like, hey, here's like another crazy game that's not even scary? How cool would that be?
I kind of hope for that more.
Yeah.
Well,
Even though I really liked on
can't be
Evil Within.
Mikami
What's up?
because he's already working on another game.
What's he working on?
He's already working on the Platinum Cross
my
Mikami collaboration.
No, Tamiani, he
for-
works for Tango Gameworks now. That's
Yeah,
his company. That's his studio.
They got contracted. They're working with Platinum Games,
Tango Platinum.
and they are making Resident Evil Cross Devil May Cry, which will be announced at E3 this year
Where? Who gets that announcement?
during Sony's press
Bethesda?
conference. No,
Oh,
Sony's
okay.
press conference.
I'm sorry, Damiani. That's next
Sony
week.
exclusive.
Yeah, they're making it for
Yeah,
Sony,
save it, save it.
PS4 and PC.
Do you think we'll see a hint at an Elder Scrolls game?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, like another mainline
that would be
Skyrim?
Yeah.
huge.
Yes.
Little tease for a 7 or for 6.
It's either going to
Yeah.
be that or something brand new. I think they either try and do something with Elder Scrolls, like a teaser, as you said, or everything doesn't have to be sequels. Maybe they have something new they've been working on. Like, we're excited to show you this.
I would love that so much, yeah.
How many times has Ubisoft done that lately? They end like a few times they've ended with like, what's this game? I have no idea what sequel is this. It's like, nope, totally new game, not a sequel, anything. Enjoy. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, they made it work somehow. You got hyped for something you didn't even know existed. It's like in the age of like, we need remakes, we need sequels and stuff. Otherwise, it can't possibly be hype. At least not until it comes out and we play it and then we wait for that game's sequel. It was like nice to see a company actually accomplish that. So other companies can do it. So why not, Bethesda? Like, totally new game.
I think Bethesda's in a great position to do that too. Okay, so that's basically those two press conferences. That's what we can expect and hope for when we watch them on that Sunday, the first Sunday of E3. I can't wait. That's exciting.
I'm hoping that someone stealth drops a game, maybe just PT style or something. I don't know if it would be one of these two though. I'm really hoping for that.
Stealth
though.
drops that day?
Yeah.
I mean, Fallout Shelter was that day.
Oh yeah,
last year.
Bethesda might do a little phone game or something like tie-in.
Yeah, that was kind of
For
cool.
probably maybe Dishonored. I don't know.
It's now time for love and respect. Damiani, do you remember how to do this?
Love and respect.
Exactly.
Let's see how it goes. Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun. Love
You
it.
do the
Yeah.
noise.
Love and respect.
See?
Nice. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
I just didn't know the jingle part completely. That was all.
You pretty much had it. Dun, dun, dun.
You know what? Oh boy, I pulled this question. I'm like, I don't think I like this question,
Summarize it to me
did you pull it?
secretly.
and now I'm liking it. No, now I'm liking it. Now I think we should do this.
Oh, do it.
I like put this in there because I'm like, maybe we can really get some
Well-
stuff going with this one.
Your water likes it too.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Vasilij Gas.
Hello, allies. I think at this point it's safe to say that Crash Bandicoot will be coming back. What would you like to see from a potential reboot of the franchise, and who do you think would handle it? Do you think it's feasible for Naughty Dog themselves to make a Crash game and stray so far away from what they've accomplished with The Last of Us and Uncharted? That's from Todd Kramer.
Shocker. It's already done, baby. They already made it. That's the stealth drop.
That's the stealth drop is Crash Bandicoot?
Yes.
Well, okay.
Can you imagine?
So we laughed. We laughed when Todd Kramer said it's definitely happening. Do we not feel that way here?
I feel like it probably is.
I mean, it's possible, but everyone needs to understand the hurdle to get to there, because people who want to make it don't technically own
Oh, yeah,
that
right.
property
That's right,
anymore.
they can't really.
Hence, it wasn't on PlayStation All-Stars because they couldn't work out a deal with said company that owns it. And who is said company that has the rights to Crash Bandicoot right now?
Activision?
Yeah.
They also couldn't get Cloud for PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that was. That's something weird. They got Lightning instead, so that's cool.
Yeah.
No.
Wait, did they get Lightning in that game?
Didn't they?
No, they got Raiden.
Oh, Raiden. Jeez.
Yeah.
Like someone cool. No, like if Sony went and talked, like brokered it, like you went with Naughty Dog and them, like, hey, like we want this to happen. What's it gonna take? If there's enough money involved, like Activision would be like, yeah, sure. Especially seeing how hot Naughty Dog is right now, of course they're gonna not say no to that.
We
Well,
live in a
also-
world now where Spider-Man appeared in the Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like, you can make that stuff happen.
About
Anything's
time,
possible.
too.
Yeah.
It's just not a guarantee. It's not a given. But
Not
it-
even
it's-
with the thing that
Don't you
happened?
do that.
I'm not going to
Jones,
say it.
Is
but
this a given?
isn't that a sign?
Nothing's a given. No, I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a given.
misdirection sometimes.
Yes.
Because
can't
to me, a
discuss that?
given.
I don't know. I don't know if we can discuss that
It's
or
like a
not.
half hour in.
Jones hasn't seen it yet. He doesn't even know what you're talking about.
All right,
it's not
never
fair
mind.
to Jones.
Never mind.
What
It
am I
is like the best part. Nothing.
Ian's trying to do. He's almost trying to do spoilers.
I'm not trying to spoil. I'm trying not to.
I don't even know what you're trying to spoil.
Right.
Yeah,
Good.
So we shouldn't. Yeah. Forget about it.
Spider-Man is in
you'll
Civil
find it.
War.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
yes,
Quick
I
Silver.
know.
To me, a given means if you were to imagine a reality where it didn't happen,
Yeah.
and you can't even, it's like, oh, I don't know, man. If we finish E3 2016 and there is no Crash, I don't know. It's like I could come on, like we'd
don't
all
wanna
get
go
on with
on
our
living.
lives would be fine. Like we would, I think, and I can't speak for Crash fans. Like I don't know what you would do with that franchise. I don't know
Yeah.
what. To me, it seems like the perfect kind of character to troll people with, just to be like, yeah, sure. Because we can't, it's like you were saying, like, we're so stuck out of the negotiating room, like, we can't even get in there. Well, let's just, let's wear a shirt and just mess with these people. This is fun, like,
Yeah.
it's fun. So we're not necessarily communicating, like, wink, wink, we're doing it. We're communicating, we'd love to, we're fans. We can't.
We should remark about the shirt. That was Sean Layden's shirt
Yeah,
that he
at
wore
PSX,
at PSX. Had Crash Bandicoot on it.
It's likely. It can definitely happen. It's very realistic. I would also say it's not a given either. But again, Jones brought up something that's a really good point. Like, what kind of game are people
Right.
expecting? Like, are they really trusting any one of those companies to make a strict like 3D platformer in the vein? Crash Bandicoot was an odd one at the time. It was
Yeah.
trying to be 3D, but it was like the not on rails, but it was like the constantly like
You're like
scrolling
running at the camera.
Yeah, it was a weird
It's like
perspective.
really weird.
And there were
And then there were
2D
the
straight up 2D
side-scrolling
levels,
parts
yeah.
that were completely weird.
Yeah.
So, are you gonna reimagine as like a Mario Galaxy type game, or do they do it as like an Uncharted storied? Like, where do you go with it?
But like
at
what
this
hole
point,
does that fill?
right.
Where if you're like, oh, thank God, I've gone through the desert of parched platformers, and finally the Crash Oasis. I mean, it's like what?
What they'd have to, for it to be good, I'd want it to be like a Tropical Freeze and not like a Ratchet and Clank.
Whoa.
Because if it's like a 3D kind of semi-open world, I'm like, that's not really what Crash was. It's not really what I want. And didn't they try that with like a later Crash game that was just awful?
You used the two best words with Tropical Freeze, and now I'm convinced this could be a good game.
Yeah, anyone can make it. I mean, not anyone, but like I think it's a little bit easier for someone to come around and make a pretty good side scrolling.
Competent side scroll. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My absolute favorite, my dream of dreams,
Oh, gosh.
would be if Crash was actually like hosting the press conference, but they never announced a game.
But he doesn't, yeah.
Oh, what?
If he's literally there, if he's like, ladies and gentlemen, Crash Bandicoot, and he comes out, and it's the guy. It's like where they get like a match of the guy. Like, hey, everybody, he's
they
in the
do
suit.
a
I'm back,
hologram.
everybody. I'm back.
They Tupac him. He's a hologram.
They announced that.
So anyway, Mass Effect's a real exciting franchise. You're like,
Yeah.
what? Like, what is he gonna talk about? Is that like never does?
I would love that.
They just
Huge
totally
troll.
straight face Sean Lane the whole time.
Oh.
Thank you, Crash. I appreciate you coming out.
To wrap up that question, I want to say personally, I think there's no way Naughty Dog is working on a Crash game. I want to know if you all think that as well.
I don't think it's a 0% chance.
Naughty Dog.
I
I don't think it's a 0%.
I remember who did Sunset Overdrive and Resistance.
Insomniac.
Yeah. So I remember like meeting with them for Sunset, and they were just like, we were so sick of war and aliens and dark gray,
Oh,
like
so you're
dust
saying
and
two
stuff.
Naughty Dog, that'd be
So,
like cool.
I think it's likely, but
Yeah.
like I could see them playing that card of just being like, yeah, it just felt good, after like clickers and like all of this depressing stuff and the family and brotherhood and all these like themes. We were just like, let's just cut loose, make a fun game, purely focus on the gameplay, 120%. Just make it fun.
That's the question I had. Like, the question that one must ask about Naughty Dog is, are they trapped? Like, are they stuck doing this because they sell so well? Like, is
they are-
Sony never gonna let them do anything other than this? Are they slaves to their success,
I
to their
think
own creations?
They are less trapped than almost any other studio.
Right. Or because they're successful, do they get to try out new crazy things and do whatever they want?
Yeah.
Like, what I would love to see Naughty Dog do right now is take their giant team for making these huge, giant, like, beautiful narrative games and split it into, like, 5 teams and make 5 smaller games instead of one big one, and then come back and do another big one, like Last of Us 2 or whatever. Like, that'd be an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
Diversify for a second.
It's also, that to me is burning money. That's like, this team is too good not to make another huge game.
Oh no, I mean I'm saying like take a year, make 5 crazy little games like You know, like,
No, that year we just wasted a year with 5 little crazy.
well,
games.
no, you've got people. I don't know, whatever. You've got like one part of the team doing the
I
groundwork.
want my millions, Ian.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It's
My
okay, Kyle.
millions.
Exploitation games. You make 5 games that cost 500,000 each and make, 4 million each or whatever. I don't know numbers, but like whatever. You
I don't
make
know
money.
these numbers, but it's got to be big,
Like
kid.
mobile games.
It's
You know
okay,
what? This
Kyle.
whole thing just made me think of like 343, where it's like, hey, we're building you to make Halo games. You will never make anything else.
Right.
Like Black Tusk. Like, sorry, no. Now you're just. I forget what you're called. The initiative or
the
something.
collective. Or,
Yeah. It's just like now you will only make Gears of War
coalition.
games. The coalition. Thank you, Jones. You saved me a
Some
correction.
generic.
Don't worry, Kyle.
What's up?
Don't worry. They're gonna have the announcement everyone's really been waiting for in regards to Crash.
Gimme.
Crash HD remastered.
I'd prefer
Crash
almost-
remake.
It's lower stakes. I think. Yeah, we'll see.
Sure.
And they just give it to someone else to do.
Here, here's it in HD. Have a nice day. There's your
Personally
Crash.
speaking, I would like Crash Team Racing, like another Crash car.
Actually, okay, yes. After playing that for
be
Pop
interesting.
Fiction, I saw how good
I
that
forgot
game
you did
was.
that. That was cool.
Yeah, like,
Actually, you know what
Good
they'll
episode.
probably do? If they did a Crash HD and then they're gonna say comes out next month. We've been stealth working on it, but then you think that's the announcement, and then at the end of that they announce a new Crash game.
Okay, they should make people beat those remakes to get the trailers for the thing they really want.
Not anymore, Damian.
Like,
We got
prove
YouTube
it.
now.
Go back and play the HD because you think you're a real fan, and then
Yeah.
the first one to beat it, they get like this awesome trailer. Like, wait, what? New Crash Bandicoot reboot? What? Like, let's go Kingdom Hearts style. Beat stuff to get trailers for the next game.
So we're overtime. Oh, Batman had a really good one too, actually.
Oh yeah.
Well, so let's just do this one fast. I like to do 2 questions now, since we gotta
Let's do them all.
give love back
Lightning
to the patrons.
round.
Okay.
Let's
Do
do
it.
them all. Lightning.
One question for love, another question for
Do it.
respect.
Hola, aliados. I hope I
Hi.
did that right. Aliados.
Sure.
Sure.
Hola.
Should I buy Overwatch if I have
Yes.
no friends to play with?
Yes.
I tried to get my friends on board with Overwatch.
We'll play with you.
when we all played the open beta.
Buy it.
However, they are not convinced. Their general sentiment is that the game is not worth $60
Buy the $39 version.
because it only has an online component. They find it far more similar. They find it's more similar to Rocket League, so Overwatch should be around $40.
It is.
Anyway, is it worth hopping on alone? Huge fan. I think you guys are awesome and love what you're doing. Amor y respeto. Crazy bird. Caw.
That means love and respect.
Yeah.
See?
Yes,
Respeto,
the
I
answer
guess
is
it is.
yes. If you're buying it on PC, it's $40. Don't buy the Origin Edition. It's $40, and it's worth it. It is so good.
I'm going
Is
to
that
assume
the same price in every territory?
I'm assuming that you've got consoles or you're not in America.
I think we should assume we're talking about consoles because it is
Yeah.
$40, like you said.
The console version is $60.
Which is the thing, man. That's a $60 game.
That's a $60 game, but like, it is incredible.
What makes it incredible? So I've heard it from Ben. I've heard it from Huber. I've heard it from Brad. I've never heard it from Ian.
I don't like games like this.
Yeah.
I usually peter out on them really quickly. And yes, actually, like a big part of why I love it is that I play with people I know, so I admit that is a huge part of it. So like, yes, I understand your concern, but I've played alone and had really good experiences too. And like, only once I think in the beta did someone like troll me or say like, "Oh, nice heels, you moron," like whatever. Like, the community so far has been all right, but like, it's just so well made and it's beautiful.
That you can appreciate it
Yeah.
beyond that.
And I don't I don't play Call of Duty or Battlefield or Battlefront or any of these.
Yeah.
And I play this one.
Damiani, what would you say to Crazy Bird?
So, I mean, I haven't touched Overwatch either.
Why not?
I haven't had time to do it yet.
I don't think you want to. I don't think you're going to play this game.
No, I do want to try it out, but
I'll buy it for you.
I will play it eventually. Like
Are you
lot
being
of
a
other
fraud
games.
right now, or are you actually going to play
No,
this game?
I'm gonna try it because everyone's playing it and stuff. It's like, all right, I gotta try it out at least once.
Okay.
I almost tried it with the beta, like a while, like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend in a Discord group I was in who, I won't say their name, but they work there, and they could were asking for who wants to get in this, and I was like, I was not there that day. And he sent all the names in, and I was like, sorry, I can't give any more names.
The window
it's
passed by.
I was like, oh man, and they all played it that weekend. I was like, man, that was it. That probably would have hooked me in there, and I probably would have been give me every other beta. So
Playing
I kind
with
of
you would be so jolly.
I missed that loop. So I just need to get into it again and play with everyone. So It's not that for me. It's not that high barrier of entry. Like I have you guys to play with, so
Yeah.
it would be pretty easy.
What I would say is the barrier entry here, though, and is with like most people, is $60.
It's that
Yeah.
plus not have like you're scared that you might not have friends with, especially if you're used to like more single player. This is analogous to me. I'm more attuned to playing single player experience games. I usually am terrified of playing online games that require multiplayer interaction, especially like if it's not cooperative. When it's competitive, I'm like, oh god, I'm super scared of this. Like I hate competitive stuff sometimes online.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like I get really like anxious about that. It's like, and then like even if I like win a match or something, I kind of like I should just walk away now because I feel good.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I don't want to deal with
I
the
feel like you're talking about
toxicity.
Street Fighter in
Sometimes
particular.
when you
right?
lose,
No,
you
like
feel
I'm
really
talking
bad,
about like,
yeah.
and like any kind of like when I tried an RTS for the first time, when I tried like. Yeah, I mean, fighting games like are part of that too. But any kind of like online, like it's mostly shooters actually. Those
Okay.
are the ones, and this is a shooter-based game, and I kind of naturally have the hardest time, gelling with shooters, especially modern shooters. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like they're like the biggest turnoff to me, other than like regular sports games. I would say
Yeah.
they're the genre I don't gravitate towards. However, it being multiplayer and not having friends to play with, I can understand like that, because even if it was only $20, if you are just like anxious about playing with people online and you get on there and you don't have a good group of people or you have some bad experiences, you're probably gonna shy away from that. So it would be nice to, if they had an option to, like the community things, like point this person towards any of their community stuff to like maybe like talk to people, maybe find some people already playing it that like, like a group.
Like an Easy Allies group.
Yeah, like
I
a
mean,
group, like
if we had
groups,
something like that.
guilds or
You can
groups or
for
something.
sure, yeah, play with
just
Easy
like
Allies
talk
people.
with some people. Yeah, like talk with us or
Yeah.
talk with a group. Or if Blizzard has a page where you can like see people are playing, like here's some groups. They post like a little bio about themselves, like hey, here's who we are and stuff. Here's our
Yeah.
clan. That way you might be able to talk with them. Go on Discord or Mumble or something. It's almost like joining like a static group or something for. Or a competitive group where you kind of interview with them, you talk with them. If you have a good time talking with them, it's like, hey, I want to play with you guys, and you go from there. Like, there are avenues to like get over that hump, that hurdle, I think. But
Jones, I'm afraid we're missing something here, though. About Crazy Bird's friends. What if they're right? What if this game is overpriced?
I don't. For me, with my experience of Overwatch, I think that's like almost impossible for me to tell if like that's worth that much money or not.
What does that mean for you?
From what I can tell, from people talking about Overwatch with social media, the comment that I see nonstop popping up on Twitter is just like, "This was not my type of game. This is just something that my friends got me into. I picked up the controller, and 6 seconds later, I was like, oh my god, this is the game. Like this is like I found the character that I liked, and I can't stop playing this just because it feels so good. This game feels so good. I keep hearing that comment come up again and again and again.
And there's a character for everyone.
So if you played that game and you were like, oh, I love this. I love the way this game feels. It sucks I can't get my friends into it. But I think I would still like this, but I'm worried I'm not going to have friends. I would say buy. I'd say get in there because it's like, it's not rare, but it is a very special thing. I think when you find that multiplayer game that really suits not only your style of just the theme of the game, if you like, kind of the cartoony vibe, or if you like superheroes, if you like Blizzard games, or if you like hero shooters. But if you just really find that like you connect to the game on a visceral level just from playing it and from feeling how it plays, I say go for it. If you're nervous about missing the popularity of Overwatch, if you're like, I don't want Overwatch to come and go and I missed out on it, but I know my friends there, then I'd be a little bit tentative.
I get you. Yeah.
So like, I want to bring my friends into this fun game, buy it. I want to bring my friends into this because I don't want to miss out. Yeah, that might not be. Then that might be a lot of money
I just want
to
say,
spend on just a multiplayer.
Sure.
thing.
and it is a little weird. Console, you have to pay $60,
Yeah.
and PC, you can do $40 or $60,
It ain't right.
which is a little weird, but I don't know. PC $40 for me is a no-brainer. $60, yeah, I could see it because I didn't buy the Origins edition.
I guess, yeah, I'm also curious if it would have been nice to have a little bit more information about their background in terms like their like gaming history background.
what they like.
Are they specifically a console player who's used to having some kind of like single player or extra modes component in addition to just the online experience? So even if that part doesn't work out for them, they have other stuff to go to.
Yeah.
Or do they play multiplayer games like even on PC, but they're used to the free to play model where they can just jump in with their friends for free, like virtually no barrier. It's all the microtransactions for the skins and stuff.
Yeah, then $40 like compared to Smite.
Because then
it's
some people
ridiculous.
like who were trained to that be like, man, Overwatch, I really want to try that, but $40, I've got all these other games I can play for free.
Or like if you and your friends feel like you got burned by Evolve, Like, you won't feel burned by this if that was your experience.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that totally happened. You're so right.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a thing. It's time for bets, however. Thank you for the questions, everybody. I'll say that now, I guess. We'll do that. That people who are on our Patreon account, people who are $5 and up patrons, send us those questions, and that's where we draw that pool from. But it's time for bets. Jones handing out cards. We're going to talk about last week's bets. It's about Overwatch, believe it or not. That launched just this week. Just yesterday. No, it launched Monday at 4 p.m. They launched it early.
Monday.
So what we did is we went to the PlayStation 4 and we looked at the trophy percentage for the trophy that was level 25. Reach level 25. How many people, what percentage of people would get to
By today.
level 25 by this moment right now? Jones, you bet 0.1%. Damiani, you bet 5%. I skipped Blood, who bet 1.2%. I bet 0.4%. The actual percentage of people who have earned the level 25 trophy at this moment, 0.1%. Jones.
Nice.
Nailed it, dude.
Nice.
Can we give him one werehog for nailing the bet?
That's pretty good.
Feels
What's
good.
the green lizard thing?
It's I feel like I think you should get one werehog for that, man. You nailed it,
That's
dude.
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one that tracks the werehawks, right?
Yeah, you get a werehog, dude.
I got 2 around.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
Well, it just
he's
seemed
got
like,
to.
you know, it's like, yeah, players are dedicated, but in a day? You know, and like...
In a day.
or
Yeah.
Also, it's just, I played it for like 6 hours last night, and I'm not the best player, but I got to like level 10 or 11. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's not fast.
I mean, I'm amazed it would be even registered. I'm amazed that there's some
That there was the
25
0.1?
dudes walking around.
Yeah. Right.
That's intense.
So the current score is Green Lizards 3, Red Eagles 6.
Dang, you guys are smoking us.
Yeah, it's so weird.
That is weird. This
Just
doesn't
us
feel right.
two
Yeah.
lowly little betters up against the rest of the allies.
Jones has been having a good season.
Yeah, what happened to you? You get struck by lightning or something, Powder?
Great reference. Wow.
Yeah.
So next week's bet, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Blood and Wine releases on May
yeah.
31st.
I refuse to bet.
I'm going to look at reviews for this. I'm going to look at 7 reviews
Just kidding.
Yeah.
on GameRankings.com for PC. How many times will I see the word combat?
They really
7.
fixed the combat.
7 reviews.
Yep.
Top 7.
Yep. 7
Oh,
most
boy.
recent reviews.
The day it comes out?
Yep. So clearly we've
We forgot to write this
Jones just.
beforehand.
Well, I guess you're right. I guess we should at least keep them secret from each other. That's how you got that 0.1. Dang, dude, that was a good bet. Combat.
7 reviews.
I'm low on this. It's gonna be like 50.
Yeah, that does seem to happen a bunch. Where
So I
one
could
reviewer
write that
just goes
review.
nuts. Yeah.
Because whenever you do these, it's always like, yeah, that's a trap. Yeah, I could see people falling into that one. Not me though. It's like I'd write combat 50 times in that one review.
Thanks for the color commentary while I was deciding on my bet.
I know.
50.
It bumped me
5-0.
up.
Okay,
It's all psychological.
Jones, go ahead.
13.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
You said
Less
that
than
was
2
low?
per.
That's less than 2 per review.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
You're
low.
looking at the entire review, right? Not just
Yeah.
the first paragraph?
Yeah,
entire
I think
review?
13's
Yeah.
low.
Oh my
No,
God,
they're
okay.
gonna say it all the time.
All right, go ahead, Damiani.
I don't know. I think people subconsciously catch themselves when they reread their review, and for generic words like that, to like, shit, I need to think of saying combat a different way.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that nowadays.
Yes.
Kind.
So I went by multiple of 2.
Yep.
But then I subtracted a little bit, so I actually got right under Jones at 12.
Oh, come on. Oh, that sucks.
26!
Whoa.
5. It's 5. It's gonna be said 5
No,
times.
no, no. Because
Okay, Kyle.
you're
The
looking at
answer
the
is 5.
Sure, Kyle.
You're looking at the 7 most recent. You know,
Yeah.
one of those is going to be some site we've never heard of.
It always is.
eight,
Yeah.
eight
Going-
is the... So you have up to 8.
I hate the
He's got
combat.
9 and above.
Yeah.
I got... Okay.
Oh boy. Let
And
me
I've
lock
got
that
what-
So
in.
it's
what's
14,
my-
15, 16, 17. I'm good.
Okay.
There you go.
What's my range? Anything.
Combat
Like
is like one of my
17
least favorite review words.
What?
Like,
I
say,
will say it like once. I will
Yeah.
say combat system,
ooh, nice.
and then
Okay.
I might, if I ever say it twice, I will say the combat. But that's it. If I say combat once in somewhere, I usually like don't use that word again.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying combat system, which is actually specifically talking about like the mechanics, like the intricacies of the mechanics. Whereas combat is more like the feel of like how fights, you know, how you feel they like, you know,
Just
quality
use any
wise.
other word. Don't even
Here's
use
the
that
thing,
word
though,
once.
like-
battles,
Yeah.
engagements.
Fighting.
Ooh, I like engagements.
But
Go
the
all day,
combat, my thing is like the combat was the worst part of that game, so I think that people will comment.
Oh,
on it.
that's what I mean. That's why I put it in there.
Yeah, no, but for sure, you know, if it's improved or worse, or
Yeah, you
there's
gotta
none
make
of
a
it,
comment about it.
They're gonna talk about it.
So, before
Hopefully 4 times.
I hand the microphone over to Jones, I do want to finish every episode also by saying that I almost like never say this. This podcast goes up audio and video on Wednesday for patrons of Easy Allies who are in the $5 and up tier.
That's not everybody. I thought it was everybody.
It's 5 and up.
Oh,
Yeah. This is exclusive. It's pretty
knew?
exclusive thing.
$1 gets you the Cup of Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cup of Jones is great. Cup of Jones is better than this. We should switch those around, right?
just open them up.
Just
Open them up for everybody.
Open them up. So I guess that's it. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. Always check that out. That is who we are. That's where we come from. And
If you made it this far in the podcast, I bet you already knew that.
I don't know. I think
never
that
know.
A new person listens every
Yeah,
week.
you never know.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Jones, it is now time for
Butt
you.
Jones.
Butt Jones. I got a Butt Jones. So Jones, you get the right and responsibility to tell everyone what your Twitter handle is. You get the last word on anything you disagreed with.
I ain't got a thing. For the whole time you've been talking, the last 5 minutes, I've been thinking real hard.
I know. Did we all
It's
just
very
kind of like
cordial.
nodded at each
Yeah.
other?
Very
this
cordial
whole
We're talking about
time?
E3. Is E3 going to be great? You bet it
You
is.
bet it is.
Like,
Well,
I don't know.
you know what? It doesn't have to be anything you disagree with. It can be anything you want to impart on the audience that you feel like at the end of this thing. You also get to promote any video you would like on YouTube from Easy Allies.
Right?
I almost did
What
the
happened
.com
there?
again. I almost did the because it's old GameTrailers.com.
Oh, EasyAllies.com.
Yeah. And then Jones, give us your trademark sign off.
You can follow me at Trailer Jones. E3's all smiles. Everything's great. I can't think of a thing. Everything because we covered every single angle. I think Evil Within 2 is likely because it just the first game opened up big. The first game was like sequel. I mean, it just reeked of sequel. So like I could see him diving back in, especially if we're anticipating what that one person is doing. And I invite you strongly to watch Brandon Plays Pokemon episode 4. I believe part 4 it is called, for 2 reasons. One, it is a mammoth hour and 20-minute episode. And also, we are not doing one this week because I have not had any time to play me some Pokemon, so we unfortunately skipping a week on that. But for the same reasons before, that we can have a nice meaty episode when we actually get back to do it.
Jones, can I tell you 2 things about that? Some comments I'm seeing.
Yeah?
Like 1, I don't like Pokemon. I love this show. 2,
Cool.
This is the first episode I saw and I loved it, and I went back and saw the others.
It just jumped right in.
I think you can totally hop right in at part 4. It is the best
Sure.
episode.
Yeah, and
it is
we
really
try
good.
to preface what we're talking about, so we don't just
Is
like
it just
jump right into
discussion,
random
or
things.
do you have
just the 2 of
gameplay
us
in it?
sitting down
It is
talking
just
about
discussion.
what a dope I am
Wow.
at Pokemon.
Actually, Jones, when I was writing that entry too, the Patreon entry, I realized that we've never gone more in depth with any other video game, even in Game Trailers time.
Right.
Really?
Like the amount of like discussion.
Maybe 14 with Damiani.
No, like Damiani hasn't done like discussion videos
we didn't do
of 14.
discussions, yeah.
Like Damiani, if you add up the minutes of discussion we're having in this game, you can't beat it. You can't beat it with any game you've ever covered, man.
So that's my final word. You can't beat it. Cheers, everybody.